Good morning. Happy Monday. My intention has been to get here early. You guys like my little crown? I made this myself. People have been complimenting it, and I feel so creative and like a child at the same time. I feel like a little girl who's like, oh my goodness, isn't it pretty? Don't you like it? Yeah. It's good to do something with my hands too. Also, to create is really fun. So I've been wanting to come in early in the morning because it's Mercury Retrograde, y'all. And we don't want you to fuck up the day. So my intention is to get here early so that you have the entire day to play with this, to really work the energy and understand your own ability to create the reality that you desire. Hey, Quasi, I think it's Quasi, that's how you say your name. So Mercury is in Sagittarius. We're going to do some of the due diligence. Mercury's in Sagittarius. Sagittarius represents travel, global identity. Sagittarius is adventure. Sagittarius is a fun energy, honestly. It's also, but it's not, it's earned fun. It's because you understand the truth. It's not just frivolous. Though there is an adventurous spirit to Sagittarius that says, fuck it, let's just do it. Fuck it, why not? You know what I mean? Like Sagittarius has that. Because they land on their feet, right? If you're not a Sagittarius, don't try that fucking shit unless you're an Aries. And then you can try it also. But Aries will hurt themselves and just get up and, keep on moving. Sagittarius, fuck it. They're like, if it works or not, it's working. Because we say so. That's the Sagittarius energy. So Mercury in Sagittarius is a very rapid energy. It's it's like a risky kind of energy, like doing things off the cuff and having faith in the choice that you make, because you understand. For me, faith has been a tricky thing because I grew up in a Christian experience where they said faith is just blind, right? But my faith for me isn't blind. Faith is understanding how the system works. I understand cause and effect. I understand the law of vibration. I understand the law of oneness. So now I can have faith, and if I don't see things, I can have faith because I understand that how things work here. And faith is a part of the mechanics that actually bring things out of the invisible into the seen. So without faith, you don't have anything, without being able to believe in the unseen and know that there is a way that things happen. Like I was saying earlier, it's like being pregnant and you have not seen the baby, but the baby is growing in your body and you can feel it and it's moving around and, and it's growing and your body is getting bigger and bigger and you're getting hungrier and tired and all that. And you have the faith that there's a baby in there. You've not actually seen it, but you know that that is the process of creating, and the faith is actually supporting the baby in becoming itself. One of the things that I learned when I was pregnant was that I had to be conscious about, I had to participate. I couldn't just, go to sleep and allow this to happen. It would have happened, but I needed to eat well. I needed to think well. I needed to, nurture myself. I needed to do things to actually nurture the creation that was coming. And that's an act of faith. It's like, I don't know what this is yet, but I'm going to do this thing that will support this process. It's an act of faith, right? So Mercury's retrograde in Sagittarius, which rules faith. And Mercury is your mind and how you think, how you process information. Are your thoughts faithful? Are you thinking towards inspiration? Are you thinking towards what you really desire? Are you thinking towards positivity? Are you how are you creating your life? Are you waiting for the shoe to drop? Are you waiting for doom and gloom? I know that I can watch myself I'm very, very, very sensitive. And if I feel a thing that feels intense, I'm like, I'm scared, right? So I have to program myself to know that things are working in my favor. Like, program yourself to know all things are working out for my good. Everything I desire is unfolding with grace and ease. I'm right where I'm meant to be. You have to think towards goodness, think towards expansion, think towards, right? Your thoughts need to be focused towards your intended desires, not towards what you don't desire. And if you are someone who has a challenge thinking towards your desires, and you have a tendency to think towards against yourself, you have a tendency to think against yourself. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm drinking my cacao. If you have a tendency to think against yourself, what that requires is retraining yourself. You got to expand around that shadow, like, it's like, so if you think that you can't have what you want, or you think, you have to understand where those thoughts come from, where they're living in your body, and do the work to free yourself from them, to expand them, right? You can't just get rid of thoughts. Like, you can't, because we live in a reality that's negative and positive. So it's how it is, right? And because we live in a reality that's negative and positive, you have to make peace with the negative and the positive. You have to. And the thing is being able to witness it, right? Oh, I'm having a negative thought right now. I'm having a thought that says I should kill a nigga. You know what I mean? Or I'm having a thought that says I'm unworthy, or I'm having a thought. Like, you observe it. You observe yourself in the thought. And you just witness it, and you breathe through it, and you feel it, right? Until they get less and less and less. The more you can, it's like soothing a baby, right? It's like, oh, this thought, just soothe it. Like, find ways to, don't run from it. Don't reject it. Don't deny it. You be with it. And in the being with it, being with something is an act of loving it, right? To be with something, to be with this, to be with a thing is a function of love, whether you think so or not, but it is, right? So, because what you give your attention to is the energy of love, attention, right? So what you're giving your attention to, if you give it to it in acceptance and willingness and openness, then that is love. And then it actually morphs into something else. That's called alchemy. So what your thoughts are, like, pay attention to your thoughts and think towards your faith. Think towards possibilities. Think towards expectation of goodness. Think towards, your vision, your dreams. Think towards that. What would it feel like? It'll be so nice when, it feels so good that, like, think towards that. And when you're moving through the world and you see, and the world is happening, I have trained myself to know that everything I see is God. Everything I see is God. I can be witnessing someone who is robbing a bank, and I will go, look at God do that. That's interesting. And because we don't, judgment is the thing that keeps this reality alive. When we say, oh, that's bad, then you give it life. You give it. So the thing is to just witness it and go, that is God. Just be in the experience of it and let it pass by. Let it, unless it's really trying to get your attention and it needs you. Unless you really are a part of it. If you're, so let me see some of the things that I have that are, for instance, I just had one of my uncles got arrested and went to jail. And this uncle of mine has been in and out of jail all my life. And I fucking love him. He is so dope. He is such I just love him. And he just goes to jail. He just does things that put him in jail. He's just that person. And so he went to jail, and when I found out about it, I was like, okay. Because I felt something coming through my family system. The men in my family are having an interesting time because everybody in my family is kind of like me. Woo-woo-y and witchy. It got translated through Christianity. And so they're all very Christian, but it's just the way they manage this sort of deep spiritual energy that I carry. They all carry it. And the men carry it. And the men have not known how to make sense of it. It's like we're a family of shamans and shamans and mystics. Like we all are that. We're all that. And most of us haven't learned how to really navigate the world that we live in because we're all that. And my uncle is one of them. And so when I first heard about it, I just sat with it and I noticed that, there's something going on with the men in my family. So I started just praying about it a little bit. And it kept triggering me though. It kept triggering me. And so because it kept triggering me, I knew that I had to do something else about it. I was like, I'm going to have to take another action. So I reached out to my aunt and suggested that we do a prayer ritual every day for our family because it's really triggering me, because it's really getting my attention. If it wasn't really getting my attention, I wouldn't invest that much energy in it. But because it's really getting my attention, I needed to take a greater action to engage it. It's asking for more power. So I'm going to give it more power in this way. So, and it's Mercury Retrograde. And I know that me and my aunt coming together is going to really fucking empower this. And it's going to be amazing what happens in my family now because she and I have come into agreement about it. And I pray in the name of consciousness and source, and she prays in the name of Jesus. And we prayed it up this morning. And it was really, really great. While Mercury's in retrograde in Sagittarius, which is about faith and your practices to access the divine. So prayer is a really good tool this month because it will be really charged because of where Mercury is retrograde. And today, Mercury is in opposition to Jupiter in Gemini. And Gemini is the ruler of Mercury, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So it makes the energy very magical, very, very magical. And so we have this ability today to really speak things into existence, to pray, to envision, to hold, to see the possibilities, write it down, read it over and over and over again. And Mercury will be back here again. It will be back here again in later December, and we will be able, and you will be able to see the shift in your life. I admire how you do not dismiss other people's spiritual journeys. Oh yeah, girl. Let me tell you, God is God is God is God. It really is. It just needs to work for you. It needs to work for you. And I've had to learn that. I've had to really learn that because I was very angry with Christianity for a long time because I felt disappointed that Christianity, it didn't work for me, but that was all I was given. And so now that I found my own thing, if Christianity works, by all means, let's get it in. Let's get it, right? It just didn't work for me because I couldn't cast my energy off into a savior outside of me. My chart has informed me that I have to believe in me wholeheartedly. I cannot cut my energy off with anybody else. So Christianity doesn't work for me. Organizing chaos. I love that organizing chaos. That's great. Are you a Virgo? I had a dream last week. Everything I thought came into 3D fruition. Right when I realized it was happening, I started thinking bad thoughts. I literally had to talk myself into Yes. It's a real thing. And that's why it's really important for us to understand that our speaking, our thoughts are real. So many spiritual people shame Christians rather than staying open and accepting their family. Yeah, I understand that. I do. I get it. People are in pain, okay? People are in pain, and rightfully so. We are coming out of the dark ages. We have endured an enormous amount of trauma, and people are in pain. And Christianity, the practices of Christianity, have been a source of great pain for many people. So I get it, okay? Like, no judgment. People feel justified in their anger, and they are, okay? Like, it's all good. I have just done the work. That's just it. Like, I'm no different. I just have done the work. I grew up in a very Christian family, was raised Christian, spent years being angry, and I just have done the work to heal. And healing means that I don't have to be trapped in those old mindsets. And I'm not, and I'm grateful, and but for the grace of God go I, you know what I mean? It really is grace that has allowed me to get to this perception. It's grace. Yes. So today is a fantastic day. The moon is in Capricorn. The moon in Capricorn is structures, right? So we're always in process, you all. Like, this thing is always moving, like this life, right? I think at some point a couple of years ago, I realized, when I was trying to figure out what to do with my hair, I heard a voice in me say, you're going to have to think about this hair every day of your life for the rest of your life. And I was like, life is maintenance, and it's always moving. Like, there's life and death and the seasons. It's always happening. It's always happening, right? And so you want to create a structure for yourself that allows you to keep up the maintenance. Because people don't really realize it. When you're in your 30s and probably raising children, they don't realize their children grow up and go away. But when you get to the age that I am, I'm seeing, like, every day I have to maintain my body. I have to maintain my health. I'm maintaining my relationships. I'm maintaining my consciousness. I am maintaining it. So you have to create a system and a structure that works for you. And I realized that when I didn't have a job, or I didn't have a 9-to-5 anymore, and I became an entrepreneur, I was like, oh, keeping up a structure is a real thing. It really is. So create structures. Today is Capricorn, moon in Capricorn. It's a day for structures. And while Mercury's in retrograde, you want to reorganize. You want to have a spiritual practice, a consistent one, a consistent spiritual practice. Whatever that is for you, if that's Jesus, Buddha, Zoroaster, the moon, the star, it doesn't matter. Just let it be consistent, and let it be heartwarming. Let it be inspiring. Let it be uplifting, because you need something to keep you motivated when life is happening. And life is happening right now for most of us, right? So life is happening. So when life is happening, you need something to continue to go to. I love the I Ching, you all. Like, the I Ching, it whips it's so rigorous. But I love it because it keeps me honest. It keeps me humble, and it keeps me honest. So the I Ching is a really good one. Whatever works for you. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. If you need support, you can book your coaching sessions with me. You can do the Mercury Retrograde readings and coaching sessions. Everything I'm doing is now coaching. I really want to put new language around it, because I'm here to help you understand how to translate your own life into something that works for you. That's what I'm here. I'm here to coach you into mastery of yourself, because that's the only thing that actually really matters, is that you master yourself. Everything else will come. If you master yourself, everything else will come. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. You can check out my website at healwithmoonmama.com. I love y'all so very much. Have a beautiful day, beautiful Tuesday. Mars is in Leo, getting ready to go retrograde. Mars is getting ready to retrograde in Leo. We'll have that conversation at another time. Bye-bye.